He threw that patch on, make it look like he was in a club, but he was never in a club.
They want to be able to tack like 15 felonies upon jaywalking across the street. This outlaw motorcycle member and it doesn't matter what they stack on you.
Because they're a friend or they know somebody and they start hanging them around and making them official hang around. Next thing you know, they're prospecting. Before you know it, they got a patch. And I'm going, you've never been in a club.
His dad was a bandito. He borrowed $100 from the club. It might have been 1,000. I don't know. But his own son was 86.
I think it was from that point on, I was like, one day, I'm going to be one of those guys.
And he said, if you don't get on a stand, you're going to lose. You're going to jail. I said, I can't take the stand.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today we've got a bunch of things to talk about. We're getting back to the normal, news side of things. I had some funny videos for you guys. Go check them out. Making fun of the Twin Outlaw Sisterhood. Them guys are hilarious. Hilariously stupid. But anyway, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chatting with Stacks, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. So before we get started, we're going to take a look at a couple of stories that we got going on in the news. It's really sad about that young woman that was stabbed on the bus. And it's just crazy. It was like a random act of violence. Some guy just stabbed her for no reason. That is insane. And the news won't even report on it. Now they're starting to report on it because of the outrage. It's like, it makes no sense. But I can't even say what they should do to that guy. And it seems why. Why is it a problem? Because she's white? Is that why nobody's reporting on it? Is that the problem? It's pretty fucked up. But anyway, we're going to start off with this story. So, more arrests after fire attack at a family home. 2 more people have been arrested in connection with a car arson attack captured on a doorbell camera. Personal trainer Mike Hind was filmed running naked from his Middleborough house in May, screaming to his wife and 3 children to get out. 2 men, 23 and 28, have been arrested on Monday on suspicion of arson, says the Cleveland police. It follows the arrests made on August of a 49-year-old man and a 38-year-old woman, both arrested on suspicion of arson, stalking, and another woman, 26, was arrested on suspicion of stalking. Cleveland police said the latest pair were taken into custody and interviewed before being bailed pending further investigation, whatever the hell that means. Mr. Hind, who was appointed charitable work in 2022 during the COVID pandemic, shared the footage after his property was targeted in the early morning hours on May 21st. The doorbell alerted him that somebody was in his driveway. After seeing the orange flash, he looked out and saw 3 cars on fire. Officers said they carried out house to house and forensic work as part of their investigation. I mean, imagine you look at your doorbell camera, all of a sudden this is what you see. Grab the kids, honey. House is up in flames. You want me to put the stuff in the car? No, that won't be necessary. We don't have cars anymore. It's insane what people do nowadays. So in another story, this is a sad one. This mother poses for a mugshot after leaving kids aged 2 and 4 alone in apartment so she could go smoke, cops say. Kentucky woman is facing charges after she allegedly left her children aged 2 and 4 alone so she could go smoke marijuana. Morgan Chapman, 23, stands accused of 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child, according to a complaint. Pikesville police responded around 9 p.m. to a domestic dispute call at an apartment on Northgate Drive. Cops went to the apartment. 2 very young children opened the door. Officers conducted a protective sweep of the apartment and realized the kids were home alone. The complainant said the cops spoke to the neighbors who said they did not know where the mother was. A woman who lives across the hall said Chapman asked her to watch the children around 5 p.m., roughly 4 hours earlier, so she could go smoke, and did not want the kids around, the affidavit said. Go smoke is common street term for smoking marijuana, cops wrote. As police investigated, Chapman showed up. The investigating officers noted she smelled of alcohol on her breath and she had bloodshot eyes and slurred speech. Chapman allegedly claimed that she was downstairs at a neighbor's house for a couple of minutes. Police arrested Chapman and took her to the Pike County Detention Center, where she was since bonded out. She posed and smiled in her mugshot. The children were taken to the police station. The Kentucky Division of Protection were notified of the situation. Pikesville is located in eastern Kentucky, some 150 miles southeast of Lexington. I mean, you really should have to take a test before you have children nowadays. Yo, can you watch the kids? I gotta go smoke. Priorities, huh? These people and their priorities. It's insane. Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me. Jimmy, what's going on? Rhino, how are you? These people, I mean, I don't even really have words. So this is a wild story. Man dies after driving over the edge of the Grand Canyon hiking trail. Colorado man was found dead in his vehicle, drove over the rim of the hiking trail in the Grand Canyon National Park on Sunday, September 7th. That was 2 days ago. The Grand Canyon Regional Communications Center said it received reports of a vehicle had gone over. Holy shit. Popular hiking trail at around 12:40 p.m. local time. The body of Stephen Bradley, 27, from Federal Heights, Colorado, the single occupant of the vehicle, was recovered by search and rescue responders shortly after. The Grand Canyon National Park Service said the park rangers responded to the scene about 300 feet below the rim in a statement. It added that the body was transported out by helicopter before being transferred to the medical examiner's office. An investigation into the incident is being conducted by the National Park Service in coordination with the medical examiner's office. No additional information is available at this time. That's insane. Like, how are you able to drive over the edge? Says in July, a 67-year-old man died while hiking in the Grand Canyon. It is a region faced punishing extreme heat. The hiker from Texas was attempting to reach Colorado River and stay overnight at the Phantom Ranch, a logging stop on a popular 15-mile round trip. Typically takes 2 days of hiking. Around 11:50 a.m., officials received a call that a hiker had been found unresponsive on the south Khabib Trail, the same place where a different Texas man died last July trying to reach the Phantom Ranch. Looks like don't go to the Phantom Ranch, huh? 2 people died, and then this guy drives over the edge of the Grand Canyon. Who does that? Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with these people? Talk about not paying attention when you're driving, huh? People are insane. So in other news, this is a crazy one too. 2 brothers, convicted felon brothers, charged with drugs, firearm offenses after a traffic stop in Willimantic. This is in Connecticut. Willimantic is a pretty bad shithole. It's kind of near the casino. 2 convicted felons were arrested after a motor vehicle stop allegedly revealed weapons, narcotics, and Willimantic, police said. Police arrested brother Sean McNee, 59, and Thomas McNee, 56. Prior to the motor vehicle stop, police said that they received multiple complaints about the sale of narcotics in the area of Ash Street and Friendship Street. During the stop, the driver attempted to flee on foot behind a house while attempting to discard the fentanyl as he ran. The passenger of the vehicle was observed hiding suspected narcotics in the bed of the truck. K9 investigation revealed 200 bags of fentanyl and a portion of crack cocaine. Officers were notified that the men were in possession of a firearm, which was later seized. I'm going to show you this picture. Oh, I can't show you the picture. I could share the screen. Both men were charged with possession with intent to sell, possession with a controlled substance, second offense, possession of drug paraphernalia, operation of drug factory, interfering with an officer, criminal possession of a firearm, and tampering with physical evidence. Sean McNee appeared in Danielson Superior Court on Monday. Thomas McNee will appear in Danielson Superior Court on September 16th. They are screwed. Here, I'll show you this picture. I mean, this is a large amount. And you wouldn't think that people of this caliber, right, would even have this amount of stuff on them. I mean, look at this. That's insane. That is an insane amount. Don't you agree? Like, what were they trying to do with that? Crazy. I mean, back when I was using drugs, it probably wouldn't be an insane amount, but to me, it looks like a lot, you know? Hey, Big Boy Blue, what's going on? Vinny, how are you? So loud, what's good? We got more stories for you guys. Man arrested for hatchet and gunfight in Middletown. This is in Middletown, Connecticut. Big Boy Blue, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? All right, so Middletown, Connecticut. 2 men were arrested for a fight in Middletown that involved a hatchet and a shooting. Jerry Sweeney, 46, and Annery Clark, 43, were both charged for the incident. Annery Clark and Jerry Smith were arrested for a fight involving a hatchet and a gun in Middletown, July 27, 2025. Police said they responded to an address on Elm Street around 10:30 on July 27th. They found Sweeney suffering from a gunshot wound. He was transported to the hospital where he underwent emergency surgery. Clark was found at the scene. Police said he was the one accused of shooting Sweeney. They determined that the fight started over social media. The 2 suspects agreed to fight in person at Clark's home. Police said Sweeney brought the hatchet while Clark had a gun. Clark and Sweeney faced off in a fist fight in Clark's driveway, police said. At some point during it, both the hatchet and the gun were taken out. That's when police said Clark shot Sweeney. Evidence was collected at the scene and witnesses were interviewed. Arrest warrants were granted for both Sweeney and Clark. Clark was charged with first-degree assault, criminal possession of a pistol, removing identification marks from a firearm. And cops don't remove serial numbers from firearms, just saying. Usually the person with the gun does that. But people are making stories up saying that cops pull you over and take the fucking... I can't believe someone even said that. Someone said they got pulled over with a gun and the cop defaced the firearm. Like, come on, man. He's charged with first-degree assault, criminal possession of a firearm, altering identification marks from the firearm, unlawful discharge of a firearm, first-degree reckless endangerment. He was released after posting $200,000 Sherman bond. He's scheduled to face a judge on September 15th. Sweeney is charged with second-degree threatening, third-degree assault, third-degree breach of peace, being held on a $75,000 bond, and he's scheduled to see a judge on September 8th. It looks like he doesn't have money to bond out. Why do people got to send me messages right now? I mean, that happens every time I'm on live. In other news, if you guys don't know, the house that Paul Castellano once lived in is up for sale. I mean, can you imagine living in this house? I think it has 18 bathrooms. Paul Castellano's house is a 17-room mansion. It's on Benedict Road, Staten Island, New York. Known as the White House, has a stone facade, classic columns, and resemblance of the actual White House. Its lavish estate has an Olympic-sized swimming pool, English gardens, and numerous luxury amenities. And it's up for sale now. I forgot how much they're selling it for. I think is it $18 million they're selling it for. $18 million. If you had the money, would you buy this house? I mean, that's a nice house. I mean, the boss lived in it, so do you think there's money buried in the walls? It's possible, right? Crazy. And to think that they all used to sit in that house and like talk different business. Listen to this story. This is out of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, I believe. Somebody is accused of spray painting squirrels. Here's one of them. They spray painted it red. Here's another one. They spray painted this one blue. And the police are on the lookout for the person that spray painted these squirrels. Crazy. I mean, we got spray painted squirrels on the loose. All right, let's get down to business. So today we're here to talk about the Infamous Ryders Motorcycle Club. Member convicted of robbery and firearms charges faces 20 years in prison. Montgomery County man convicted of robbery and firearm offenses. If you guys aren't aware, there was another incident that happened last year where some members were convicted. This guy was like, I'm taking it to trial, and he lost. So things aren't looking good for this guy. He goes by Mo, and This is in Scranton, Pennsylvania. United States Attorney's Office, Middle District of Pennsylvania, announced Mohammed Zeidan, a.k.a. Mo, 36 years old, of East Greenville, Pennsylvania, was convicted September 5th, 2024, for conspiracy and Hobbs Act robbery, attempted Hobbs Act robbery, firearm conspiracy, following a 4-day trial before senior U.S. District Judge Robert Mariani. According to the acting United States Attorney, Zeidan was friends with members of the Schuylkill County chapter of the Infamous Ryders Motorcycle Club, of which co-defendant Steven Wong was the president. Wong used his portion to recruit members of the motorcycle club and other associates to participate in a series of brutal home invasions and robberies in the surrounding counties. In the summer and fall of 2020, Zeidan agreed to participate in August 29, 2020, to a home invasion robbery and 3 other co-conspirators, in which Zeidan and 2 others entered a home of a street-level drug dealer while wearing masks and armed with firearms, knives, to rob the victim of drugs and other drug proceeds. One of the firearms used was a fully automatic homemade AR-15 style assault rifle. Shit was homemade. Zeidan did not personally carry a firearm during a robbery, but he tried to break down the back door of the residence and impersonated a police officer in order to convince the potential victims to come downstairs. Instead, the victims jumped out the second-floor window, injuring themselves. Zeidan and his fellow co-conspirators then ran from the home without stealing anything of value. That sucks. You don't steal anything of value, and you're going to go to prison for 20 years. But he committed other crimes. Zeidan, later blamed by the other conspirators for the failure of the August 29, 2020 robbery. Members of the conspiracy later committed additional armed home invasion robberies in Mahoney City, Pennsylvania, and Shillington, Pennsylvania. Zeidan's co-conspirators, included Wong, have all been convicted and are currently awaiting sentencing. The charges stem from an investigation involving the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATF, Pennsylvania State Police, blah, 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 a whole bunch of departments. And it says this case is part of the Project Safe Neighborhoods program, brings together all levels of law enforcement and communities to serve to reduce violent crimes and gun violence and make neighborhoods safe for everyone. So there's been members of this club in the past that have done some pretty wild things. Here's another article from back then. Members of PA Motorcycle Club convicted on federal robbery charges and conspiracy charges. 2 members of a Pennsylvania motorcycle club were convicted last week in federal robbery charges. Solomon Rodriguez, 34, of Reading, and Steven Wong, 43, of Charlotte, North Carolina, are facing Hobbs Act robbery, firearm, and related charges. Hobbs Act robbery relates to a robbery affecting interstate or a foreign commerce, according to the U.S. Justice Department. The 2 were members of the Infamous Ryders Motorcycle Club in Schuylkill County chapter, in which Wong was the president. The U.S. Attorney in Middle District of Pennsylvania said Wong recruited members of his club to participate in brutal robberies. Wong rewarded loyal members involved with conspiracies with money and free drugs. The U.S. Attorney said the robberies targeted street-level drug dealers involved, and they used automatic rifles. So, hold on. Damn, I had another a good article for you guys. There's not much about this motorcycle club out there. But back in 2021, 8 members of the Infamous Ryders were charged with all kinds of crimes. I can't pull up the damn article now for some reason. But tonight at 10 o'clock, we got a lot more content for you guys. I'm going to be bringing you all new content coming very soon. Tonight, there's a new one dropping tonight, so you don't want to miss it. 10 o'clock. It's the guy who wrote the Lufthansa Heist book with Henry Hill. Daniel Simone. It's a really good interview. Get a lot of insight on things. Shout out to Daniel Simone. I'll play some clips and you guys can see a little bit about what this is about. And he tells me pretty much the real Goodfellas story. And it's a lot better than the movie isn't. None of it is real. Mike Ball, what's going on? JD410, how are you? That's just wrong. People are fucked up nowadays. They really are. They're just fucked up. You can't make this shit up. I'm just waiting for these shorts to load and I'll play some for you guys. Tonight, 10 o'clock. This is the dopest little clip for when people talk shit.
Put him in a bedroom, Mike. Bobby, put him in the bedroom. Put him in the bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Later. Put him in the fucking bedroom. All right, let's take a look at some of these clips.
I never looked for a hustle because I wanted something concrete, a career that was definitive, a career that would be rewarding and satisfying in different ways. And that is the route that I embarked on. And I left many of my old friends from my adolescence. I left them behind. And what happened to them? Some I learned about them. Some I read about them. Some I maintained contact with. But now, much later, I don't have any vestiges at all from my early days from the Ozone Park neighborhood.
So that's it.
We worked together for, I would say, 10, 11 months. And I completed the book. But as I mentioned a few minutes ago, unfortunately, he passed and never enjoyed the gratification of seeing the book published.
So what did you think of Henry as a person?
A screwball, a general screwball. Not at all the way he was cast in the film Goodfellas, played by Ray Liotta. Not at all. Henry was a little hustler, any type of hustle. He was not a racketeer. He was not a sophisticated racketeer, and he was not a sophisticated gangster. He didn't have the means or the backup to be a gangster. It so happened that Paul
Vario,
played in Goodfellas by Paul Sorvino, happened to taken Henry under his wing. Apparently liked Henry's charm and backed him in several criminal enterprises. Which is very unusual for a copper regime that Paul Vario was, to affiliate himself or to allow himself to collaborate and socialize with a lowly gangster who wasn't even an official made man.
And he wasn't Italian. He wasn't Italian,
so he couldn't be. The Gotti brothers, for example, his sons, his daughters, many others that don't come to mind at this very instant. They made throughout this transmission that we're having, but many others. Vic Arena, for example, he was a Colombo acting boss while Carmine Serpico was serving prison time. Incidentally, Vic Arena is still alive today. I believe he's 92 or 93 years old, but of course he's in prison and he will die in prison.
He meant Persico, but that's besides.
I started flocking with crowds from other neighborhoods, better neighborhoods. And I also leaned into spending a great deal of time with my own element from the Nassau County area, which is a county of Long Island right adjacent to Queens. And that gave me an entirely wider view of the different lifestyles that I could choose from. And I chose the academic lifestyle as opposed to being the typical daily laborer, the street type of individual who roamed around looking for a hustle, any type of hustle. I never looked for a hustle because I wanted something concrete, a career that was definitive, a career that would be rewarding and satisfying in different ways. And that is the route that I embarked.
And what made you want to get into writing his story?
I ran across Henry Hill many years later at a fundraising event. I just happened to attend this event I was invited to, and Henry happened to be there. I introduced myself, and I said, I would love to write a book in collaboration with you about the Lufthansa heist. And immediately he says, you know what? Good idea. We shook hands, we struck a deal right there and then, and the rest is history. We worked together for, I would say, 10, 11 months, and I completed the book. But as I mentioned a few minutes ago, unfortunately, he passed and never enjoyed the gratification of seeing the book published.
And that's crazy. And that's happened twice to him, that he's collaborated with people and they passed away before the book was published. So just a little side note, but 10 o'clock, don't miss that. It's a great show. Someone said Infamous Ryders are in my area, also in York, deep in York. I've never heard of them before, not until a few months back, but I've never seen them before. They're not around where I'm from. Tommy, what's going on? How are you? I got some really good shows in the works. I got a huge meeting coming up. Wish me luck on the TV series. I'm going to be working on that in the next couple of days. So I won't be around to do lives for a couple days, but I have some shows that I'm going to drop during the day for you guys. And I'll be dropping a show at 10 o'clock every night. I already scheduled a bunch of them, so just check out the shows I got, and I'll be back live probably Monday. I got a lot of big things in the works, so stay tuned, and we'll have some laughs next week with these two dingleberries. I'm sure something will happen in between now and then, right? It always does. But can you believe that? They really were on stream saying, we have so many people following us that if something ever happened to us, people would not rest until they took all your patches. They really are hiding behind their following. They think their following is keeping them safe. These guys are delusional, because I don't care how many followers you have. Nothing like that is going to happen if something happens to you. They're not going to take club patches from people. They're not going to start this big RICO investigation if something were to happen to them. And for them to think that, they're just delusional. They think they're going to get something passed in Congress where 1% motorcycle clubs are terror organizations or something like that, they were saying. And they're going to take their patches if something ever happens to them. And you guys are delusional. But I heard someone say that Black Dragon was going to be interviewing them. Not really interviewing them, but relaying questions. And then they were going to answer it in a response video or something weird. Listen, I just catch wreck on them guys. It's funny. I think they're funny. I'll be there to report on it when something does happen to them. Which I don't encourage violence in any way, shape, or form. But I think everyone has to, you have to stand on the shit you say. You can't go around disrespecting people and think nothing's going to happen to you ever. These guys are delusional to stand. They're like, we have such a big following on social media. So what? So what? People with bigger followings have been, things have happened to them. And there is no outrage in the street. There won't be any outrage in the street, trust me. People will be laughing at you. And they'll say, they deserved it. That's exactly what they'll say. They deserved it. Won't be nothing more. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon. Maybe I'll go live in a couple days. But enjoy the content. 10 o'clock Eastern time. Every night, 10 o'clock. And I'll be dropping a show probably around 1 o'clock every day. So don't miss it. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chatting with Stacks. And if you want to be a guest and tell your story on Chatting with Stacks, just hit up my email at billstacks2021. I just interviewed a former Red Rum Motorcycle Club member. He's a former member of the Red Rum Motorcycle Club, and he told me his story. So that's a good interview, and you'll be seeing that soon. So, and I have Lou Balistreri. I think I said that right. Lou Balistreri, former NYPD cop. So, hope you guys like this content. If you don't like this show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chatting with Stacks, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.